Hi, everybody. Verl Workman here, CEO of Workman Success Systems, and welcome to another episode of The Faces of Real Estate. The Faces of Real Estate is our show where we highlight agents and brokers around North America who are making a difference, who are giving back and changing lives. Today, I have the sincere pleasure to introduce Master Coach of Workman Success Systems, also a great team leader of the Gaddis Group with RE/MAX in Atlanta. Please welcome Cleve Gaddis. Cleve, thanks for being on the call today.
Hey, Verl, thanks for having me. What a great opportunity just to talk about things other than real estate and how we probably all should be doing more good in the community. So I really appreciate you selecting me for this. I think it's an honor. Thank you very much.
Well, Cleve, you were nominated by your peers, which says a lot about you. When people see you doing good things, they nominate you to be on the show. That's what really, that's what's humbling to me is when other people take notice, even those you don't recognize are taking notice of the impact that you're making. As we get started today, just give us a little bit of a snapshot. Tell us about your business.
My family's been in real estate in Atlanta for 33 years. I have a team. It's 6 agents, including me. So 5 buyers agents. We have 5 or 6 administrative staff people. We sell anywhere from 150 to 200 houses every year. In North Atlanta, we're in Johns Creek for anybody who knows that area specifically. I also do coaching for you, and my wife and I own a little property management business, and I am the proud papa of 4 grown daughters. They're all women, I guess I should say 4 grown women. I've got them from 23 down to 18 years old, as you know.
I'll tell you one thing I've learned is that they never stop being daddy's little girls. I don't care how old they get, they're your little girls, and you will always treat them that way.
I hope what you're saying is right. It appears that is right. Mine are not old enough to have people they're ready to get married to and things like that, and I hope that they always stay daddy's little girl because nothing is better than that. Nothing.
Are you training any of them to be the next generation of real estate people? What do you think? Do we have hope?
Well, so the 3 younger ones, they can't imagine anything that they would rather do less than be in real estate, which I think is kind of the way it works sometimes. The oldest one, she's got a little bit of an inclination for doing rehabs and property management and things like that. And so we're hoping, Verl, that we can convince her to join us in the business someday. She's finishing up college in Hawaii, so it'll be about a year or so before she comes home, but we're hoping she wants to get in the business with us. That would really mean a lot to me and her mother if she would.
You have to kind of let them figure out how the world works, but there's very few places in the world that they're going to be able to go and live the lifestyle they've grown up in. And they have to figure that out themselves because real estate creates just amazing opportunities for us.
So I think that's one of the problems. But I think as you did with your kids, I think they need to go off and I think they need to have some experience on their own, working for other people, learning what it feels like to fit into a culture where you're not one of the kids and learning what the pay is and how, unfortunately, you're not always appreciated. So I'm sure all of our girls will go through that. My 2 middle ones are going to be in healthcare. So the odds are they probably won't be in real estate. And but my younger one, who knows, maybe we'll get 2 of the 4. That's my goal anyway.
50%. Yeah. We're not going to hold that against you for closing ratios. We'll just see if they come into the opportunity. Well, I love your family and it's amazing to see you and Michelle as the way you parent them. You're raising some amazing, fine young women. All right. So Cleve, you told me a little bit about Johns Creek and where they are.
Yes.
I'd like to know a little bit about your team culture and how you came up with the concept of giving back. Was it something that you and Michelle just decided to do, or is it a team thing?
No, it's actually something that I was exposed to through Anthony Margulis, who is a Workman client. And I watched what he was doing in the Los Angeles area, and I realized that something was missing in our business. I think we do everything we can to try to create a very strong culture. And, we have a very specific way that we like to serve our customers. But the reality is that we weren't, even though we were involved in the community, we weren't really serving those who are needy in our community until I met Anthony and sort of caught the spirit. And that's what made us think that a couple of years ago, I guess it's been 2 years now, a couple of years ago, that we needed to start a giving program and we needed to start a serving program. And so I chalk it all up to Anthony Margulis.
It's funny. A lot of people hear the story and they go, we should do that, but they don't actually take action and actually implement it. What did you have to do? Tell me how you set it up. How do you come up with causes? How did you get the team involved? I want to kind of hear your journey.
So we actually were sitting around a table once we decided, what we decided to do is that we wanted to give our agents a way to supercharge their giving. So we wanted to give them the opportunity to donate something on a per closing basis or however they wanted to do it. And then we wanted to double that investment. So if they put in X number of dollars, we would match that. So it gave them a chance to supercharge the amount of money they would contribute. And it allowed it to come off the top of the transaction. So they really didn't have to look at it, how does it affect my personal budget, because it came off before they actually get the money. And so what we did is we asked the agents on the team to select charities. And so we let everybody bring suggested charities to the table. We knew that because we were with RE/MAX that one of our charities probably needed to be the Children's Miracle Network. RE/MAX has given, millions and millions of dollars to Children's Miracle Network throughout the country. The nice thing about that is the donations stay local. But we selected 3 charities. The second one is a place called Rainbow Village, which is in Duluth, a city right around the corner from us. And it is the coolest concept. It takes homeless people, and it winds up being mostly women with kids, although they do accept, families that have mom and dad. But it's a place to help homeless people have some stability today and then go through a process of getting back on their feet over X number of months. And they have 27 apartments, Verl. And if your family was left homeless and you had 2 or 3 kids, you would move into this 2-bedroom apartment. They would give you everything you needed from a furnishing standpoint, your pots and your pans and your mops and your, dishwashing detergent and your diapers if you have a baby. And they let you go through a program of 18 months where they, first of all, at least get you up off the ground, so to speak. And then they allow mom or dad to go back to work. They have places for daycare for the kids. So they keep the kids. I think they keep kids all the way up until they're ready to go to first grade. And then you sort of get educated through this process. So they teach you everything you need to know to be a homeowner, to make sure, or to make your budget work and get an apartment and all that kind of stuff. And when you graduate, you go back out into the real world. And it's just fascinating. And we just love that. And then the third one we just started this year, Verl, is Habitat for Humanity. And we have not been involved in a service project yet, so we have not physically gotten involved in helping to build something. But, if it's our mission, Verl, to help people own homes, maintain their ownership of a home, or to be able to buy a home if they haven't owned a home, I think anything we can do that promotes home ownership, and Habitat for Humanity helps people who probably would not be able to afford houses otherwise, get into a homeowner. And it was started right here in Metro Atlanta. I believe Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter, was one of the people who helped start Habitat for Humanity, and it's right here local. And so we're really excited. We don't have a date on the books yet, but we're hoping to have one soon.
That's exciting, and you're going to love having your team come together to do service. When so with the Rainbow Village,
yes,
did you raise money for them? Did you do projects? Tell me a little bit about what your contribution looks like.
So both. So we've actually given cash in the last couple of years. We've given them $8,000 in cash, which we love. We actually go over and make a big deal of it. But this Valentine's Day, Verl, we actually went over and did a service project. So a couple of our fantastic administrative staff members, Kelly and Preston, put together activities for the kids. And I'm not sure what age group. I used to be good at knowing the ages of the kids. I have no idea if they were 2 or 12. I don't know. But they would bring in one group after another. And I think we had, Verl, 6 groups in an hour-and-a-half period. And we let them cut out hearts and make projects for their mother and glue, M&Ms to stuff. And we just let them do arts and crafts projects. And then we treated them to some refreshments. And it was just a great experience for everybody. It was a little bit like herding cats. It's been a long time since I've dealt with a bunch of 4 or 5-year-olds trying to keep them focused on projects. And I had to cut out most of the hearts myself in order to make sure they were straight and nobody hurt themselves. But we had a blast.
It actually sounds like Sunday dinner at my house. So
Bet it does right now with all your little grandbabies. So you know what it was like, except I just had 6 groups of like 20 or 30 of those come through. Yeah, it's really great. We need to find more ways to be involved. One of the things that we've thought about doing, and I know we're supposed to be talking about what we are doing, not what we're thinking about doing, but we do a lot of client events in our business, and we want to start taking advantage, Verl, of those client events to help get additional exposure for the charities that we support. So, for example, the most interesting thing happened, Verl, the first time we went for a tour at Rainbow Village. we met a lady, and let's just call her the inventory coordinator. I'm not sure what her title is, but her office is on the top floor of this building, almost like it's in an attic. And it's like going into a gigantic Costco that only has supplies for a house. So tons of baby diapers and tons of sheets and pillowcases and bedspreads and just stuff to get started, you know, toasters and things like that. And so she was the supply coordinator. And the coolest thing was is that she had been a resident and she had gone through the program. And Verl, when we walked outside of the building, she was giving us a tour herself. And when she walked outside of the building, one of her sons drove up. He was probably 18 years old, maybe 19 years old. He and his brother were in Rainbow Village with the mom. And I think they went through the full 18-month program. And here the mom is now serving others in the community. And the son, I wish I could remember the name of the school, Verl, but it was one of the Ivy League schools. And that's where he was going to college. And I just got chills all over. I mean, thinking that only 10 short years ago or 8 short years ago, he had been in a place because he was homeless with his mother. And now he's going out in the world and he's going to get educated probably way better than most of us, where he can make a difference in the world. It's just an amazing group.
So I love to hear stories like that. Tell me about the impact on your team when they were there doing the activity and what it does for your team unity.
You know what, Verl? I am not the softest, easiest, fluffiest person that you've ever met. And so I don't always do the right things to communicate the emotional aspects of everything. And so I think what it does is it makes all of us be connected on the same, all of us focused on the same outcome. And it allows us to totally get our mind off of things that are selfish. And how much money are we making? How many sales are we closing? Things like that. And it allows us to put our minds on something together that doesn't really have anything to do with us. And it's just like magic. So it's almost like everybody's got their barricades up from life in general. And then all of a sudden you go give service to another group of people and down come all the barriers and the barricades, and everybody's vulnerable and everybody's real. So when I'm sitting at one table and Michelle's at another one and all the other people are at different tables, and you know the chairs are about 8 inches off the ground, so all of our knees are up on top of the table, and we're all using scissors and glue to put together projects for Valentine's Day for a mom whose kids are going through some tough stuff. It's just I'm not doing a very good job of describing it. It just changes things. Everybody comes out of there changed and feeling different and realizing that there's a lot more in the world than making money.
Right. I think a lot of people think they have to have money to give back. Did it cost you a ton of money to go out and volunteer on Valentine's Day, or was that something you did that was a time investment?
I mean, I would say as a team, we probably spent $200 on supplies, and it was really just the time. So the truth is, I will tell you, Verl, I don't believe that our giving program currently involves enough activity and time commitment. As you become a little bit more successful, giving the money is actually easier. And sometimes we do it because it doesn't require so much skin in the game. And what I'm looking to do moving forward is to have more skin in the game and to get out and physically spend a lot of time. I have to tell you real quickly, when we support the Children's Miracle Network, they are almost every major metro area in the country has a CMN network hospital. And when we go do our tours every year, the most amazing thing to me is they take us through the cancer. I'm going to call it the cancer ward. I don't know if it's the right name or not, but on the wall, Verl, they have this bell on the wall. And when somebody finishes their treatment and they're ready to sort of graduate out of treatment and move back to life, they go and they ring that bell. I'm assuming they might do that in all the hospitals. And I get chill bumps when I walk into the room with the bell. And I know that we haven't contributed enough money to have probably even allowed one more person to ring the bell. But we might have played just a little bitty small piece of somebody being able to ring that bell. And it almost chokes me up when I think about that, because I can't imagine somebody that I know, not being able to ring the bell. And for us to be able to make it where people can ring the bell it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
I've had the opportunity over my 20 plus year career to be at a lot of events where RE/MAX is doing Children's Miracle Network. And the speakers are good, the content is great, but my favorite part of any event is the Miracle Child. When
The
they come up and
kids.
tell their story
Yeah.
and the impact that the agents have had on them. And I really commend you and your team for being part of that organization and giving back to them, because there's so many children that are blessed because of the collective group of that amazing brand and organization. So I think it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I
So
agree with you.
well, thank you, Cleve. I'm just out of curiosity. A
Yes.
lot of people are trying to figure out, like, how do I start? Where do I give back? You've been doing this for 2 whole years now. What would you recommend to someone who has an individual agent, not a great business, or a team, and they want to start giving back? Where do you start?
I would try to think of something that you're passionate about. We knew that we wanted to have housing involved in some of our charities. So we know that CMN was kind of the default because we got to be part of a bigger group. So if you're part of a brokerage or a team and there's some group that they support on a larger level, maybe you want to get involved with that because it's easier for you to get involved. And as we told CMN that we wanted to get involved, they knew that was a big deal, and they have a person who coordinates all the RE/MAX stuff here in Atlanta. But secondarily, we wanted to be involved in something that had to do with housing. We wanted to be involved in something that we were passionate about. And Rainbow Village has to do with sort of the ultimate thing, which is taking someone who is homeless, doesn't own a home, but does not have a home or a shelter over their head, period. And it gives them a sense of stability. And when I look at housing, there are very few things in my life, Burl, that give me a feeling of stability and security more than my house, more than where I have my relationship with my wife and we raised our kids, and I do all of my gardening, and I look at my tomatoes in the backyard and those kind of things. And so for us to be able to do that for another group of people is really amazing. And so I don't have any specific examples of how we chose Habitat for Humanity other than the fact that it is housing related, and we just wanted to be involved in another charity. And we allow our clients, because they know we contribute a certain portion of every transaction to the charities, we allow them to determine the direction of that contribution as well. So if they have Rainbow Village or Habitat for Humanity or Children's Miracle Network as a preference, then we follow their preference.
I love that. I think it's amazing that you give back. And I think that a lot of the success you'll have going forward will be a result of the charitable giving and the thing you do as your team to keep that culture together. Cleve, I'd like to say that it's an honor to have you be part of our family and to watch what you've done with your team as you've grown. And I wish you continued success as you continue to change people's lives and give back, not just to your communities, but to the agents and the members of your team as well. Thanks for being part of the Faces of Real Estate.
Thank you, Verl.